Hello, this is CJ. I'm in Shreveport, Louisiana. Let's check out this pan of chicken wings. This was a really large package, and I decided to forego the search for the hot wing today. Uh, Even though I still love those and they're my favorite wings, but a long time ago, I also discovered the flavor of citrus with chicken. It's wonderful. I think I was like a little kid, and it was like, "Ooh, this is delicious." Uh, so, yes, and then not long ago I found this, which is a crystallized lime. And basically, yeah, let's see what's in this. I want to check the ingredient always: lime oil and some non-GMO chemical stuff to keep it anticoagulants. But I had to tell you, the anticoagulant is not very effective. You do have to maybe go in there with a knife and break it up. It's a very sticky situation. So I laid out the chicken wings, sprinkled very much. For instance, this was a full bottle when I started. That's how much I just went. I really want this to taste like a lime on the chicken, and then you know uh, you put the lime on the chicken and you eat them all up. And so, yeah. So then I went over it with some red pepper flakes. Just a fair amount. Give a little bit of a bite to the citrus, a little balance, and then over that I've sprinkled some, you know, dried chives. And then as it sits and as it rests, the chives on this chicken, it's gonna rehydrate itself with the flavor of the broth and the fat that's coming through the chicken's skin, especially as it slowly cooks. So I'm gonna put it uh, it's a large batch, so I'm gonna do it 400 degrees for about 35, but it's a larger batch, so it'll probably go for 45 minutes, but somewhere around there. You just want to watch it in your oven. Each oven cooks a little different. Uh, I lined the pan, so I really didn't have to go too much in the pre-oiling or anything like that. But the pan is uh, very much lined uh, with a strong aluminum that's not going to peel away. And then most of the seasoning uh, is really just on the one side of the chicken uh, because that's what's get this. I'm not really going to be presenting it. I was going to say that's how it's going to be presented, seasoning side up. But basically, I'm the only one that's eating these. Um, Some of a couple of days of meals, probably about 4 meals here that I can do, and will really, really help me to my keto. Except that's what I did not do. Yeah. Okay, so there is like per serving, there is 1 gram of carbs. Now, uh, yeah, so I'm going to be able to maintain with all this flavor and everything because I'm not eating all these all at once. If I were to put the whole container, it would be 72 carbs. There's, for that container, but I'm not. I haven't done that. So I'm gonna maybe kind of give a good estimate that yeah, it's probably about 60 uh, carbs from the lime, uh, and not much from anything else. Very very fractional. Not even enough to count on the herbs. And so basically, what'll happen here is that over the course of the next 4, possibly 5 meals, whatever, um, I will really be sticking to my keto diet, and that is paramount. I'm going to pause this video. I'm going to stick this pan in the oven, and 40 minutes later, I'll pull it out. And from the miracle of whatever, you'll get to see it as I'm checking on it, and then when it's done. See everything turned off, taken out, about done. Chicken wings with lime. Okay, here we go. Ah, so this is what they look like. These chicken wings. Yeah, that's great. Chicken wings with lime. Tastes good every time. With some pepper red. And then I'll let it rest. I don't know. I'm making up stuff. Okay, so oh, that stupid song got stuck in my head from this is Kill Bill. That song got stuck in my head. This looks really, really great. And so, like, just to show you, the underside, I didn't turn. You can turn if you want. I really didn't. Um, so it's basically gonna have the consistency of a broiled chicken on the underside. But this would be great for if you're gonna do like sit them around some pasta or a nice uh, balsamic rice or something like that. You know, it'd be really, really good. Really, really good. I'm going to let these rest here for a little bit, but um, yeah, that's great. I'm not even going to worry about deglazing because the bottom of it's not sticky. It's very, very moist. What I want to do, one thing though, as I've had this in the oven for, I did it for, like I said, about 45 minutes. I want to pick just a random wing and stab it. Okay, so it doesn't look too bloody or anything like that, you know. So you can get inside and look, and if you cut into a wing and you see red, pinkish meat, maybe it's a little bit underdone or something like that. You actually don't want that. Uh, you want to make sure that the juices that are running out are clear. You want to make sure you get down by the bone in at least one piece of chicken. Maybe you come over here and you find another piece in a different area of the pan. Ovens sometimes. This is a nice oven that works really well. Pretty new. It's the air gets circulated pretty well. It's basically a convection oven. And yeah, this is good, and it's still moist. You don't want to overdo a chicken. So I did this. This is like one of those, all these came out of the one package, you know, and so about 3 or 4 of these, I'm going to be full. I'll probably have a slice of smoked Gouda with the cheese. I love a good Gouda or something like that. You can garnish with anything that's green or something like that if you're doing this at home. This makes a really good appetizer, and I need to stop talking with this knife in my hand because I tend to gesticulate and touch my face a lot, and I don't want to poke my eye out. Because sometimes, I'm just that foolish. Okay, so that's really easy. Just to close it up, these chicken wings that crystallized lime that I found, flakes of red pepper, and the chives. That's all. And it smells really good. It smells really, really great. If you wanted to do this, but you want to do a variation and you really, really want a powerful lime flavor, I've done this before, where you actually take the chicken pieces that you're using and you actually soak them in lime juice. And the longer they soak, they just become limey, it's a chicken. They become a good limey bastard, of a chicken, So you could marinate them. What I've done before is I've taken like some chopped garlic, a little bit of white pepper, and some lime, and I've marinated some chicken wings, and then have lightly breaded them and fried them, or I've actually done that lime treatment and then I've laid them out here. These are copious amounts. This is like huge amounts of lime all over these chicken, all over the top of it. I didn't worry about if you wanted to. If I were working with a less crowded pan, I should say, like maybe a wing here and then a wing here. So if every other wing was not in this pan and I had room to flip them, I could have flipped them over and I could have had a neater presentation. Did I want to make a nice presentation, or did I want to make a hell of a lot of chicken wings so that I really didn't have to cook for the next few days? That's what I wanted to do. And this is going to be flavorful and delicious, and it's got some great lime. It's a great place to go. You want to do if you wanted to put like some rock salt over it. You could serve a couple of these with your margaritas. Call it a margarita chicken because it actually does kind of have that uh, slight. When you roast the lime flavoring and everything like that, it sort of takes on almost a tequila esque aroma, pungency, or something like that. Something else that there's no garlic in here, but garlic will do that too. Garlic will actually turn bitter if you roast it rather than the slight spiciness of a garlic that goes in like a sauces or something like that. If you put it in the oven and roast it, it'll get you know some spices and things like that. Garlic's just one of those. It'll get bitter. Um, what goes well with this, if you're someone who enjoys what's that one? Give me just a moment to think. Um, Not part. Oh, cilantro. If you're someone who enjoys cilantro, this goes really well garnished with cilantro because the ambiguous flavor of cilantro, that's slightly minty, but also just slightly bitter. So some people taste it as a mint, and then some people taste it as a bitter chemical. Uh, and it depends upon where your palate favors, how your taste buds interpret it. I personally enjoy cilantro because for me, I taste both of those elements in a cilantro. Like I get that it's in certain quantities. It has a very freshening effect with foods, uh, and but if it's overdone, then I can taste where it kind of feels more on the chemical and bitter side with it. So I think it's more of a ratio uh, uh, for me on that cilantro. But I love cilantro. I'm a um, I would say in talking that I'm not an expert, but just working in kitchens is something that I've done as part of my working life, and usually not as a lead cook, but usually as either a sous cook or a prep cook or a garde manger, which is what some people will call someone who does those other two jobs that I just named. uh, um, but they also tend uh, in larger restaurants, they would tend to the salads and desserts and the sauces and things like that. And the reason why it's a the troughs, they look like a manger, so it's the garde manger. Uh, but in uh, other operations, they combine that position with the sous chef. Uh, Anyway, so yeah, I've worked in all kind of kitchens, and so that's where I pick up my essence of balancing flavor, and with different types of flavors with each other. But also, you could have something that's really really wonderful and delicious, and then a bad texture will ruin the experience. Like for me, I'm not a big vegetable, uh, person. It's I don't like I don't like squishy textures, like squash, you know, like a ratatouille. Anything that's really kind of a succotash, anything that's like overly squishy and you bite into it and it's gonna like explode in your face on the inside of your. I don't like that. That's it's a texture that creeps me out. So that's why I don't eat a lot of vegetables. That's why I don't eat corn on the cob. Uh, and hardly ever eat corn at all. If it's popped, I'll eat it, and if it's powdered, I'll eat it. But also, I found out that a lot of those reactions coincide with a lot of food allergies that I have. You know, so didn't find out until much later. A lot of wax beans and string beans and things like that have like a little bit of a bitterness to them. I don't like. I can't abide by that in my taste buds and everything like that. It's just really just not bode well for me. And it turns out those things, they're allergens for me. And if you're an allergic person, sometimes those things are like poison. You don't just get like yacked out or inconvenienced. I mean, they can be like they can make you volatilely sick. So I watch those food allergies. But anyway, that's where I learned to balance flavor and texture, and comes and goes. But I wanted something different than the usual hot wing. I'm still exploring. I'm very, very close to finding my remedy for my missing. I guess it was Tyson had the recipe, then they sold it to Pilgrim's Pride, and then Pilgrim's Pride changed the branding to Country Pride, and then they don't make the wings anymore. They only make the chunks, the blazing chunks. I don't know. I'm not. It's like, all right. All right. It's like if you get it and fresh out of the oven and you want to eat it right away, and then you are like having to like cool your food off, and you have to like blow on it before you eat it because it's too hot. Does that mean that you're blowing chunks? I mean, and that's not something I want to think about when I'm trying to eat. So, anyway, now I've made food gross. I'm so sorry. Listen, I love you guys. Have a good night. Come see us in Shreveport, Bossier, surrounding areas in Northwest Louisiana. And yeah, we'll make sure you have a good time. Have a good night. Bye.